Hello everyone and welcome back to Destiny. I myself am grinding away at SRL and strike scoring to finish the competitive spirit record book. I mainly wanted to get to rank 7 to get the Nova Mortis and Abaddon. I made a couple videos this week about those two guns and how to get them, so be sure to watch those if you're still working towards rank 7. There are of course 11 ranks in the book, but since there really isn't anything of urgency to earn from the rest of the book, it hasn't really been priority number 1 for me. But in this video, I wanted to quickly go over this week's Bungie blog that was titled This Year at Bungie, and some of my takeaways from what was discussed in that blog. Now, if you're one of those who doesn't read these blogs every week, I recommend maybe giving this one a read. It actually marks Deej's final blog post for 2016, so This Week at Bungie, or TWAB, is taking a 2-week break and should return January 5th, 2017. But in the post, Deej summarizes the past year of Destiny, focusing on the highlights of course, and goes on to wishing us a happy holidays as we race our sparrows and rack up points and strikes. He quickly goes on to reassure us that Bungie isn't taking a break, they are continuing to support the live game through the holidays and will be as attuned as ever to the community. I personally love posts like this because it reminds us that as big of a company as Bungie is, it's filled with actual human beings. Now, those human beings might make mistakes from time to time or misjudge situations, but they also work really hard all year long and deserve a break just like you and me. The important thing to remember is that people tend to learn from their mistakes, and we know that's the case definitely with Bungie as a whole. The last 3 years of Destiny have been quite the rollercoaster ride, and while it's had its highest ups and lowest downs, the optimist in me knows that this franchise's best days are still ahead of it. Deej wraps up his blog by saying, "Thanks for playing our games, Guardians. We'll have more to show you next year, but that's a conversation for another time." I like this for many reasons. Around this time last year, there was a very toxic air of uncertainty around the game. We were told certain things that were perhaps so vague and misleading that they did more damage than simply saying nothing at all, which is sort of their approach this year. And that's an answer that is really acceptable by the larger part of the community because they really blew us away with how rich the content of The Dawning actually ended up being. Most of us were expecting to receive SRL with maybe a couple new tracks, and perhaps a couple modest PvE quests to satisfy those not interested in racing, but none of us expected the Dawning event, or the revamped strikes, or the strike scoring, or the new exotics. That amount of new content almost mirrored last year's April update. On top of that, I think we now know to expect this level of content for every new live event, which I think is safe to say we can expect every few months now. Not only that, but we have some slight validation that the old raids might actually make a return next year. So all in all, the future of Year 3 seems much brighter than Year 2 did around this time last year. Now, all of that notwithstanding, I think we're all starting to get a real strong sense that the lifecycle of Destiny 1 might be coming to a close. The sheer amount of Destiny 2 rumors have spiked in the recent months, and the public's focus is definitely starting to shift. The vast majority of Bungie Studio is working on Destiny 2, which has been all but confirmed at this point, and the much smaller live team, while larger than it was last year, is still very small in comparison and has very limited resources. So if Destiny 2 is going to be this grand departure or reboot that the rumors are making it out to be, it only makes sense that they use Vault of Glass and Crota's End as the cornerstones of the content in Year 3 and use it to wrap up Destiny 1. I believe we will most likely learn about Destiny 2 in February, and the hype for the game will most likely mitigate our expectations for more Destiny 1 content. And I suppose that's the whole point of this video, encouraging you to all mitigate your expectations for new things in this game. Destiny 1 has been an incredible journey, and I know the game still has some surprises in store, but ultimately it's best for us as a community to soon start shifting our focus to what's coming ahead, once we learn a bit more about it perhaps. Anyways, let me know in the comments what you think are reasonable expectations for Year 3 content. I'm considering putting together a few videos with some ideas of what that could look like, so be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you'll know when my videos go live. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed what you saw, and I will see you all next time. But as you can see here, the explosive rounds take off quite a bit of health from any surrounding enemies. I swear, these weapons are almost too good. I don't know about you guys, but this is probably going to be my weapon of choice for most strikes and nightfalls for the foreseeable future.